Hello, this is Clive Cable with a warm welcome to Influence Intelligence, and thank you for taking the time out to watch this video. You'll see that everything on this channel is designed to make you more money, whether that's using your memory to remember people, important dates, or to recall what you read, or if you want to get better at influencing people, you've come to the right place. Everything you'll find here only works. Naturally, you'll want to subscribe as soon as you see or hear something of value on this channel, and that includes giving a thumbs up as you watch any video here. And in addition to what you'll be discovering here today, you'll immediately be aware that the ultimate power is the power to get people to do what you want. Accordingly, when you can do this without having to force them or hurt them, when they willingly give you what you desire, then finally your power is untouchable. The second thing you should realize is the word selling has in its roots the word serving. To say it another way, selling is service. The more you hear what I have to say to you today, the easier it is for you to make sense of what is being said. And as that happens, you'll find yourself listening to the tone of my voice, and with it comes the understanding that what you're hearing is forming a new belief inside your mind that stays with you for the rest of your life. Now, wouldn't you agree that when you go to buy something that you really want, the company or person you're buying from is serving you? Obviously, they are giving you value in exchange for your money. You could be buying clothes that make you look good or supplements that make your body stronger. They could be serving you by selling you a great car that makes you feel special as you drive it. Even something as simple as buying a service like Netflix every month, which can entertain you and give you pleasurable experiences. Picture this. If in their sales message you read online or off shows you how you will get more value from buying the product, service or information than the money you're giving them, then this is a good transaction. I want you to dismiss, put out of mind, and forget about the notion of selling as a bad thing. You have no time for anyone who is skeptical about selling anything. That idea is now fading from your mind, evaporating at the speed of light. And instead, bring back to memory that selling is serving. These words, selling is serving, are now indelibly inked into your mind, leaving a lasting impression never to be forgotten. That brings us to the question, what exactly is wealth? It isn't money, because money in and of itself has no value unless it can be exchanged for something of value. Now imagine that you have 10,000 euros and you're in a country where they don't accept euros and there is no way of exchanging your euros for the currency of the land. Are you wealthy? Obviously not. Now let's take another scenario. Imagine you've been given 2 weeks to live and you have £1 million in the bank. Are you wealthy? Again, no. Well then, what is wealth? Well, look around your life right now. What resources do you have access to? Do you have a place to live? Food? Do you have a vehicle to get you from place to place? How about a laptop, a phone, a tablet, or other useful mobile devices? How about a printer? Do you own useful non-fiction books that will help you upgrade your skills so you can earn more money? How about a Netflix or Apple TV or other ways of being entertained? Do you have lights in your house so you can still function when it's dark? Do you have a nice wardrobe of clothes and shoes, etc.? A kitchen to prepare your food, perhaps? Do you own a credit or debit card? Do you have friends? How about family? A job or your own business? They're also resources. All of these and more are resources that you can easily access. And if you're in good health, that means you have even more resources available to you. And if you've ever fallen in love, you'll know how good that feels. But do you know why it feels so good? One of the main reasons is this. You've just doubled your resources. You now have access to your partner's resources, and that includes their knowledge. In other words, you can learn useful skills from them and ask for their valuable input on something they're good at that you're not. Usually when two people get together, they complement each other's weaknesses. You also have access to their family, which includes their extended family. And you can have access to their group of friends and acquaintances. No wonder love feels so good. Now let's look at this scenario from another perspective. What if you had a good friend who's also a matchmaker, and this good friend talked you into meeting a new love partner, and it all worked out for the best? Didn't your friend just sell you on the idea of meeting someone new? And in doing so, increase your resources? Now, you can either believe that selling equals increasing another person's resources, and that having more resources available makes them wealthier, or, if you prefer, you can accept the fact that persuading someone to buy from you helps them to have access to a resource that increases their wealth and their happiness. Either way, you come out on top. Before we go any further, let's turn our attention to health. Well, let's say you go to see a nutritionist. This health expert shows you where your diet is making you ill and recommends a change in your eating habits, and also recommends useful supplements to you. Because as you become healthier, you also become more resourceful. Accordingly, you can be more creative and increase your income. In other words, the healthier you are, the more resourceful you are. Some say health is wealth. Think about it. Without your health, you are in effect poor or unwealthy because you can't do much with the resources that you have. So look at it this way. When you sell great products or a useful service and practical information, you are making your clients wealthier. You are enriching their lives. People love to buy. In fact, studies have proven that when someone buys something and it makes them feel good, they want to buy exactly the same thing again. That may explain why women have so many shoes and men have so many shirts or watches or gadgets or tools. People love buying, but they hate being sold to by a pushy salesman. That means you have to be indirect in your approach, just as a romantic partner is on the first few dates. If it's true that when you're selling something that another person wants, then you're making them wealthier, then consider this. Daniel Pink wrote a book called To Sell is Human. And the reason is we want to sell our products to serve our clients and make them wealthier. If we fail to make the sale, we're not serving them. We're in fact doing them a disservice. And if a con man comes in to see that person after you failed to make the sale and tricks that person into buying a bad product, it's because you didn't have the courage to serve them. So if to sell is human, then not to sell is inhuman. And look up the word inhuman and you'll find words like callous and cruel and inhumane. Is that how you want to be known in this world? After you've burned these thoughts deeply into your mind, there's another word you must know. It's the word deserve. The root meaning is to serve or of service. Isn't that interesting how similar that word is to the word selling? And since you're still hearing my words, you accept this real truth. And you don't deserve anything in life until and unless you are of service to one person or many people. The more people you make wealthier by serving them, the wealthier you'll become. Legendary salesman Zig Ziglar once said, you can get anything you want in life by helping enough other people get what they want. And that brings us back to you and the rewards you get from selling. Did you know there's a part of your brain that cannot tell the difference between what it gives and what it receives? Some say this is your emotional brain. Some call it the mammalian brain. Others call it your midbrain. Doesn't really matter what it is or what it's called. What matters is this. Your emotional pain cannot distinguish between what it gives and what it gets. In other words, you feel exactly the same when you give as when you receive. Now the downside of this is some people get their pleasure from what's known as the dark side. These tricksters, con men and charlatans make you believe they're giving you something when in reality they're not. There's a saying that makes this point. When a man with wisdom meets a man with money, the man with money gains wisdom and the man with wisdom gains money. Or, another statement, when the student is ready, the salesman will appear. Now this may be a cynical view, but you must be aware that these con men exist. And if you truly want to be happy, only sell worthwhile products that benefits the buyer at least 10 times more than it benefits you. Now let's jump back in time for a minute. In emotional terms, what you give is what you receive. If you get angry with someone, you'll be angry at yourself at the inside. If you do a good turn for someone, you'll feel good on the inside. And if you want someone to become a friend, then, simple trick, ask them if they can lend you something that they own. And if you want to know if a female love interest is going to be worth pursuing, ask her to do something for you. In both cases, if either one of them complies, they will feel good about themselves and in turn feel good about you. Now, back to selling. Did you know that at the point when someone says yes to your offer, both you and them feel great about the situation. Why? It's because both you and them have become wealthier and you both have resources available to you. They have the resources of your product, service, or information, and you have the resources of extra money. It's that giving and receiving part of the brain at work. In other words, selling is serving both you and the person who is buying. Now remember what I said earlier about subscribing. Please do that now while it's fresh on your mind.